Welcome into the Michigan Football Report, folks. It's been a while. It's your boy, James Yoder. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter at James Yoder. Trying something new this summer with the Big C out there. People spend the last 3 months at home. I wanted to bring sports back to you, the fan of Michigan football. So this summer, June and July, until there's something to talk about with the actual team, we're playing the 2020 Michigan football season with real players, real names, real stats, with a slightly altered schedule, which we'll talk about here in a second, all summer long, a game all 3 days. The team is now 2-0, if you haven't seen yet, beat Washington on the road, and then beat Ball State in a tight game, very tight game, just yesterday. So let's get into it. Our Michigan football grades for the win over Ball State, starting off with Coach Jimmy. Now, not Coach Jim Harbaugh, Coach Jimmy, Michigan's new head football coach in his first year in 2020, giving Coach Jimmy a D+ for this performance against Ball State. We're going to talk about how the game played out as we get into the other position groups, but Michigan needed a last-second come-from-behind victory to beat Ball State at home in his first performance in the Big House. That is a D+ effort, and folks, it would have been an F- had they lost to Ball State, but stuck with it. A tremendous last-second drive that we'll show you here in a few moments. But grade Coach Jimmy against Ball State, A, B, C, D, or F. You saw we gave him a D+, and that's only because somehow this team fought back and had a tremendous victory down the stretch. The new head coach of Michigan football is on Twitter. Follow Coach Jimmy at @Wolverines on Twitter if you want to get quotes, some inside scoops potentially. I don't know. He's a little bit more vocal than that old Coach Harbaugh has been on Twitter lately. So follow him at @Wolverines on Twitter. You will not regret it. How about Josh, our offensive coordinator? All right. It's been a tough sled. 5 interceptions versus Washington. You turn around, you've got a couple more turnovers, but only put up 14 points against Ball State. This offense is an absolute shambles. Turnovers left and right. Can't get anything going until it's crunch time. Frankly, Michigan has trailed with under 10 seconds in both games. I'm giving Josh a D-. Then over the defensive coordinator, Don. Pretty good defensive performance against Washington, holding them to 3 points, and then against Ball State. I'm going to give him a B+ because Michigan did give up 10 fourth-quarter points to Ball State, trailed with under a minute the team did after the defense gave up a field goal on the final possession, but there was a huge game saving in a lot of ways stop on 3rd and goal from about the 3-yard line. That will show when we grade the defensive line. All right, folks. The 2020 Michigan football schedule on NCAA14 that Coach Jimmy is going to be playing every 3 days. If you haven't seen yet, you can watch the full game that broadcast on June 5th against Washington, and then the one from Monday against Ball State, June 5th, June 8th. And then it's going to get a little tricky because of PlayStation 3 and the Big C. The schedule's way altered this year. They won't let you alter home and away. Well, you guys are just going to have to deal with some of this stuff. It's not the exact schedule, and the home and the away are flipped for most of the rivalry games. So we're going to deal with that. Arkansas State's coming up on Thursday. Then Virginia Tech on June 14th. Getting into the Big Ten schedule. By the way, this game was played created when they still played 8 Big Ten games versus 9. So 8 Big Ten game schedule this season. June 17th, Minnesota. June 20th, we're heading out to play Penn State back-to-back seasons. June 23rd versus Indiana. June 26th, heading to East Lansing to play the Michigan State Spartans. Then June 29th, Nebraska at the Big House. We get into the month of July at Northwestern. July 5th, a little holiday weekend for you, at Iowa. And then we're going to take a break. We're going to play the Ohio State game, beat Ohio State again. We're going to play that bad boy on July 11th at noon on a Saturday. So keep this, screenshot this if you have to rewind it. That's the schedule. Game every 3 days except for that game against Ohio State. We're going to let that one build up all week, played in its truest form at noon on a Saturday. How about the quarterbacks for Coach Jimmy's Wolverines against Ball State? It was quite a rough day for them. Once again, only scored 7 points with time on the clock throughout the game. 1 touchdown coming at the last second. D- for the quarterbacks is the grade that I'm giving. We gave Milton snaps. We gave McCaffrey snaps. Let's take a quick look at what each of these guys did. Milton clearly getting the glut of the snaps, most of them, but he wasn't the only one. McCaffrey got it in there. Milton was looking good early. Sainristil getting involved on the over the middle for a big 28-yard gain. We're going to show you coming up here in just a moment. Milton looks good when he throws the ball, when he's got time, when he throws to the right receiver. But when he doesn't do good, he's throwing interceptions. You see it here, Milton to Sainristil, over the middle, 28 yards. That's one of the highlights early on. That's why Milton's got the start in both games for Coach Jimmy's Wolverines. Then you got Dylan McCaffrey. He got some play. He got the ball in the red zone in the second quarter, and it was kind of disastrous. And so he threw an interception against Washington. Milton threw 4. But when you give him high-quality snaps in the red zone, in a 0-0 ball game in the second quarter, you can't throw an interception for Dylan McCaffrey. So an interception for McCaffrey, an interception for Milton. And I also liked what I saw in spurts and kind of sputters and a little bit here and there, the ground game from the quarterback. So a read option right here from Joe Milton. And it wasn't a big run by any means. But, well, I'm sorry, that's the interception for Milton. Never mind. Oh, I'm sorry. INT for Milton. So we're showing you both the interceptions back-to-back. That's my bad there on that one. So I want to know from you guys, thinking about the real season, thinking about Michigan versus Washington coming up September 5th, if all things stay the way they are. Who is going to be the starting quarterback for Coach Jim Harbaugh this season? If you think it's Dylan McCaffrey, type DM. If you think it's Joe Milton, type JM. I am torn in this one. Coach Jimmy went with Joe Milton, gave both guys a lot of snaps in that first game, but I think Coach Jim Harbaugh might go with Dylan McCaffrey. I'm not sure. Type DM for Dylan McCaffrey, type JM for Joe Milton. How about the running backs? It was kind of an absent performance for the running backs. I'm giving them a D+ for this grade. Not much going on the ground at all in this one. And maybe that's why the offense is getting such poor grades. OC Josh, maybe he's in the hot seat. Heard there was some words exchanged between him and Coach Jimmy. Zach Charbonnet did a little bit, 6 carries. But Dylan McCaffrey, when he's your second leading rusher, 1 carry for 5 yards, and Hassan Haskins only gets 1 carry for a -3 yards, I don't tell you about that. But Haskins did make potentially the second biggest play of the game, caught this laser from Joe Milton right over his shoulder at the pylon to get the touchdown. That's why the running backs, frankly, don't get an F. It's just because of that catch from Hassan Haskins. So I'm giving them a D+. How about the wide receivers, though? Wide receivers, up until one point in the game, they probably got a C+. But Giles Jackson down the stretch, just coming up huge with 80+ yards in the final drive. I'm giving the wide receivers a B+ on the day. You had 5 guys get involved in the passing game. You saw Haskins there, and then the 3 receivers, Sainristil and Jackson, Nico Collins, and Nick Eubanks. We'll show you here coming up in a moment. I want to make sure you guys know to subscribe to the Michigan Football Report on YouTube. There's going to be a new game, 12-game season, then the Big Ten Championship game, I hope, because we're going to beat Ohio State again, and then the BCS game that we're taking this team to. I think it's going to be the national title game, but things got to improve big time if that's going to happen for Coach Jimmy. Take a look at the wide receiver leaders. Giles Jackson, what a performance by him. 80+ of those yards on the final drive. 5 catches, 157, and a touchdown. Nico Collins, 2 for 30. Nick Eubanks, 2 for 24. And Mike Sainristil, we showed you that one early on. He had that catch early from Joe Milton. Here's potentially the play of the game. 50-yard plus pass. I think it was 52 yards. Jackson, double coverage, gets Michigan within field goal range. But Coach Jimmy had the opportunity to kick a long field goal, 47-yarder, to tie the ball game, but maybe one of the gutsiest calls. Someone said only 3-4 coaches in football history would have the balls to make this call. Look at this play. No time on the clock. Giles Jackson, Joe Milton, 29-yard touchdown pass, the greatest play in the history of Michigan football. People are calling it the miracle of Michigan. Had it been against, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Notre Dame, Ohio State, it would get a lot more accolades out there, but pound for pound, game on the line, I'm giving that one an A+ for that play, an A++. But that's the game winner. 2 seconds on the clock. Milton to Giles Jackson wins it for the Wolverines. The wide receivers, because of that, they get a B+. The offensive line, I gave them a C+. Not really much going in the running game, but only took a couple sacks, so it's not like the quarterbacks were under duress all day. So a C+ from the offensive line. Got a highlight here. They took a sack here and there. I'm not sure if that one's on the left tackle, the left guard, or if it's on the quarterback for not throwing it fast, but a C+ for the O-line. Take a look at tight ends here. Not much going on with the tight ends. I'm going to give them a C. Nick Eubanks caught a couple passes. They weren't game-changing passes. They weren't anything that really helped Michigan win or lose. But they didn't do anything bad. You see Nick Eubanks grabbing a ball right here in the sideline, keeping his feet in. Michigan get things going with the tight ends. 2 catches for Eubanks. Not really anybody else saw any snaps for that one. So that is the offense for Michigan. I want to ask you guys, grade the offense. 14 points. A wide receiver that got over 150 yards. 5 guys catch balls. 2 receiving touchdowns. 1 for Haskins. 1 for Giles Jackson. A, B, C, D, or F. Give me a grade for the Michigan football offense against Ball State under Coach Jimmy on NCAA 14. If you guys want to get your dad, if he's a Michigan fan, the most awesome gift probably ever, they are on sale, the Michigan football custom jersey. Toss your dad's favorite number on there. Toss his last name, your last name on there. There's a Yoder 7. Ship that off my dad. They're now 30% off. Use that promo code FREESHIP to get free shipping. Don't wait to the last minute. Have your dad open up on Father's Day, which is coming up a week from Sunday. Have his last name, his number. Make sure you tell him that he means something to you. If he does, this Father's Day, chatsports.com/MichiganDad will drop you right on the page to get that 30% off deal. Make sure you use that promo code FREESHIP to not pay for shipping. There's all kinds of Michigan football gear, including the gear Coach Jimmy wears during the game, on sale right now. Go to chatsports.com/blue. You've got Michigan football gear up to 50% off. Chatsports.com/blue. All kinds of stuff for Father's Day. Don't miss out. Don't wait till the last second. Chatsports.com/blue. My boy Jay, special teams coach, they didn't have to do much in the game. There was an opportunity for the opening kickoff against Ball State to go back for a touchdown, but the guy made the wrong read. So I'm giving Jay a B. Gave up a field goal. Not much else going on in the game. This was potentially the game winner for Ball State. 48 seconds left in the game. They kicked it there, so he might have got an A+ had he blocked that one, but special teams and my boy Jay, they're getting a B for this one. Let's take it over to the defensive line. Give the defensive line a B grade for the day. There were some times in the second half in particular where the defensive line needed to step up and didn't, but when it counted, the game in the line, 3rd and goal, look at this play by the D-line, look at everybody step up and just put Ball State, loss of 3 yards, they had to kick a field goal. Had they scored a touchdown there, that game-winning play by Giles Jackson, Joe Milton, would have been a game-tying play. So that might have been the play of the game on the defense, giving the defensive line a B. Give the linebackers a B too, okay? I'm just going to jump up with them. Give the linebackers a B. Not sure what to say other than that they played a good enough game to win, but not a good enough game to, shut out the team or have a runaway victory. There were certain times throughout this game where the linebackers missed tackles, but made enough plays to get there. You see MCGrone, 5 tackles, and Josh Ross with 3 tackles on the day. They had a few sacks here and there, but look at that touchdown, the first one for Ball State. Where are the linebackers on that one? So they get a B grade. And then we go over, after this play, we're going to talk about the secondary. Who's making plays in the secondary for Coach Jimmy's Wolverines? I am giving the secondary a B. Show you stats coming up here from Ambry Thomas, Brad Hawkins. Through 2 games, those are the guys that have been the leaders in the secondary. Daxton Hill had an interception against Washington, but was really quiet in this game. Didn't hear much from Vincent Gray in a good and a bad way. So Ambry Thomas, the 4 tackles. Brad Hawkins as well. No interceptions for Michigan in this game. The defensive backfield didn't really tip any balls or anything, so nothing spectacular, just a solid performance from that defensive backfield for Coach Jimmy's Wolverines. Remind you guys, chatsports.com/blue. Get all kinds of Michigan football sales. Go to that URL, chatsports.com/blue. Pick out the items you need to buy those that love Michigan football, including your dad. Get him a custom jersey. It's like $80 and some change right now. It's usually $120. 30% off, chatsports.com/MichiganDad. Don't overcomplicate it. Chatsports.com/MichiganDad. Type it in, buy that bad boy, ship it to your dad with promo code FREESHIP. Grade the defense. Here up 10 points to Ball State, but 10 of those points, they had a shutout going through 3 quarters, all 10 of those points in the 4th quarter. So I gave the defensive coordinator, Don, a little higher grade than the unit as a whole. So A, B, C, D, or F. Want to know from you guys. Michigan, Arkansas State coming up on Thursday. Thanks so much for watching today's new edition of the Michigan Football Report, our NCAA14 grades following a 14-10 win over Ball State. If you missed the game versus Ball State, just click this right here. You can watch the entire game. If you want to watch the first game against Washington, go ahead and click right here. We'll be back on Thursday. Go Blue.